This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So again, welcome everyone. I will be recording this so that we can go back and listen to it again if we need to. Um, anyway, so again, welcome. Today we will be discussing the second portion of our systemic formulas roadmap for getting started. So some of you may have seen something similar to this. And the last podcast, we discussed the first 3 steps of the 6-month roadmap, which was parasites, so cleansing the body of parasites. The second was GI purge, which cleanses the body of pathogens such as candida, fungus, bacteria. And then GI wellness, which rebuilds the gut and recolonizes it. So those things were discussed on the last podcast. If you'd like the replay for that, let me know and I will send that over to you. But today we will be discussing the 4th step in this 6-month roadmap. And I'm just going to scroll down here because this will show us a little bit more in detail of what the 4th step looks like. And it is a 4-step cellular detoxification program that we have for patients who are looking to remove heavy metals and chemicals from the cells in the body, which can wreak all sorts of havoc on the body and cause multiple malfunctions, as a lot of you may know. So typically you start with the gut, purging that out, making sure that's ready to take on the rest of these toxins that will be coming out. So with that being said, the first portion of the 4-month roadmap, or the cellular detox, is our prep phase. This phase you would do for 30 days. And the purpose of the prep phase is to continue to prepare the body for the detoxification that it's going to experience in the following phases. So I wanted to dive a little bit more into the prep phase with you guys and give you an idea of what's in there and how it's going to help your patients with their health. So here's the 1-pager that we have available, and we can send this to any one of you, anyone that's interested. So just let me know if you haven't received this. But this gives us a breakdown of the prep phase, which is the first phase of the cellular detoxification program. So the purpose of this phase is to prepare the cells for purification, and how it does that is we have these 2 products here in the prep phase, Vista 1 and 2, and these products assist with membrane regeneration. So they have things like phospholipids, antioxidants, amino acids, and some botanicals to support the outer cell and make sure that that's strong and healthy and ready to detox. So very important for cellular processes to make sure that cell membrane structure is has integrity. So that is in the prep phase, Vista 1 and 2. Then we also have the MORS, which is a methylation donor. And this is going to assist with methylation processes in the body and getting those started and moving so that your body can detox easier. So, if your body's not methylating properly, you're going to have a harder time detoxing any of the chemicals. And so it's important that you have that methylation support so that you can detox the cell. And so that's going to help immensely with the process. And then also ENRG, which is our quantum cellular ATP energy production formulation. This is going to help support the mitochondria, which we all know is the powerhouse of the cell. And it's going to support that as well as help with fatigue, so combating fatigue or adrenal issues as you're going through the detox. It helps to support the energy of the patient that's taking this while they're going through the process. So that is super helpful because we all know detoxification can cause things such as fatigue and other issues, and so that is going to help combat the fatigue. We also have our MBC, which is our very potent probiotic. It's got over 100 billion species, or 100 billion bacteria in it, and 10 different species. It is enteric-coated, which means that it's not going to be breaking down in the stomach acid. It won't start breaking down until it gets into the lower intestine. And that's wonderful because a lot of times a lot of probiotics will break down in the stomach acid and only target the upper GI tract. This will help to target that lower GI tract and get the intestines ready and have the proper bacteria to help break those toxins down as they're moving through the gastrointestinal tract. So hopefully everyone can see this screen okay. It looks like we do have someone who's not able to see the screen. And so typically you would want to log in to your computer with the link that was provided on the email we sent out, and that should give you access to the screen. So if you aren't able to see my screen, feel free to log in on your computer and hopefully you can see it there. So I do apologize for anyone who isn't able to see. Let's see here. Oh, looks like no one can see. Okay, something is going on. I'm so sorry. Let me see what I can do to provide access. Okay. All right. I think now you should be able to see my screen. Can everyone see this okay? Awesome. Okay, wonderful. So it looks like that worked well. Thank you everyone for being patient with me on this. Usually Mike does this, so this is my first time, and I'm just trying to figure it out. So anyway, so I was discussing the prep phase, and I've talked about Vista 1 and 2, the methylation donor here, as well as the ENRG and the NBC, which is our potent probiotic. All right, and then the next portion of the prep phase is going to consist of the L-liver, which supports the liver tissue integrity and liver processes, which we all know is very important for detoxification because everything is running through the liver. So we want to make sure that that's strong and ready to process those toxins. And then lastly, in the prep phase, we have the K-kidney, which is going to support the kidneys, tissue integrity, as well as the kidneys processes, which is also very important for detoxification because, as we know, the kidneys are a detoxification pathway. So So this is the prep phase. Again, it's preparing the body for detoxification. It comes in a package typically, and it's a 30-day protocol. It has sachets or little packages in there that say morning and evening doses, so it's very easy to follow, so your patients can follow this, because it's laid out. Now, our prep phase is currently out of stock, as some of you may be aware, and so I do apologize for that. We are waiting to get the boxes. However, you can order these products individually outside of the box, and we can provide you with the dosing instructions. So we have that all laid out, and I will be sure to email that to everyone, the dosing instructions on each phase. That way, if you need to, you can order the product separately, and your patients can still go through this phase and get the same results. So that is definitely an option for you while we're waiting on the boxes to come into stock. So don't let that stop you from moving forward. We definitely have options. So just keep that in mind. All right. So I am going to move on from the prep phase to the next stage of our roadmap here, which is the body phase. So we would do the body phase for 30 days following the prep phase. And the body phase is going to be the portion where we start to detoxify the body, essentially. So let's talk a little bit more about the body phase and what that entails and what goes into that. So here's some information on the body phase. And again, if you don't have these sheets, I'm happy to send them to you. So feel free to ask for those, or I'll get those out to you after the podcast. All right, so the body phase is going to help remove heavy metals and chemicals from the cells in the body, which we all know heavy metals and chemicals are just going to wreak havoc on processes in the body. And so it's important to remove those so that we can get to living a healthier life. All right. So in the body phase, it comes in a package similar to the prep phase. It's 30 days, it's got sachets, and there's a morning and evening doses. We do have this in stock currently, so you're welcome to order this anytime. And again, if it does run out of stock in the boxes, we sell the products individually, so you can purchase those individually, and we can always provide you with the instructions. So just want to make sure you're aware of that. So all right, so the body phase contains the Vista 1, which was also in the prep phase, which is going to continue supporting the cell membrane and help to regenerate that and support that and rebuild it with phospholipids, antioxidants, amino acids, and botanicals. So wonderful, wonderful formulation, and it supports this whole process. The methylation donor is also in the body phase, which again is super important for detoxification. We must methylate to detox, and so if someone is not methylating, this is going to support them in that process and provide that methylation. ENRG is also in the body phase, which again will help with combating adrenal fatigue as well as supporting the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. And then in the body phase, we introduce these two products, G-Cell, which is our intracellular glutathione. It is the most potent antioxidant that you can get, and it's going to help reduce oxidative stress. It's going to protect the body from continual oxidative stress, and it helps supporting to push toxins out of the inner cell, which is why it's called intracellular, because it is getting into the inner cell and pushing toxins out that don't need to be there. So wonderful product, lots of success with this. And then combined that with the bind and these other products, the bind is truly amazing. It's a binder that's going to pull those toxins that the G cell and the other products are pushing out. It's going to help pull those toxins from the body. So it's been shown to pull 27 different heavy metals as well as other chemicals. And so it is definitely an important portion of detoxification. And again, it's going to help with drainage and pulling those toxins from the body. It comes with 2 capsules a night. And so typically with the bind, you do want to take that 1 to 2 hours away from all other food and supplements. And the reason for that is because it's a binder and we want it binding to the toxins, not to the food you just ate or to other supplements or medications that you may be taking. So that's one thing to keep in mind about the bind, is you would take that about 2 hours away from all other food and supplements to get the fullest benefit. And you can add additional bind to the protocol if your patient needs additional drainage support. A lot of people do well with just 2 capsules a night, but if your patient is not eliminating every day while they're detoxing, which means, using the restroom and moving those toxins through, then that is something that you'll want to address and make sure that's happening so toxins are not recirculating into the body. So the bind helps with that. And again, you can add more bind to the protocol for the patient if needed. It's definitely something we've had people do. So feel free to order some extra bind and just have that around during the process if needed. So this is the body phase. And again, this is going to be the phase where we start detoxing the body of chemicals and heavy metals and moving those out. And so there's a reason we do these in a specific order. And so the next phase is the brain phase, where we are pulling toxins from the brain. And the reason we do the body phase and the prep phase first is because if your body is toxic and you start pulling toxins from the brain, and those are getting dumped into the body, and so you want to make sure your body's going to be ready to process those and move those through. So if your body has not been detoxified first and you start pulling things from the brain, it could cause an overload of toxins in the body. And so that's something that Dr. Shae Morris and Dr. Pompa, who put these packages together, specifically thought about, what would be the best order of operations here. And so, prepare the body for detoxification, detox the body, and then move into the brain. So this program has shown to work really well for so many people. We've had amazing benefits from doing it in this order. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the brain phase and what's in it. So the brain phase comes in a package like the other phases, a 30-day program that has the prepackaged doses in sachets with morning, evening, and nighttime doses listed on them, so it's very easy to follow for your patients. We do have this in stock, so you're welcome to order this. And again, we sell these products individually, except for the ALA. The only place you can get the ALA is in the brain phase, and I'll explain that a little bit more. So in some cases, the brain phase, you would have to wait for this to come into a package, which we do currently have, if you'd like to get started with that. All right, so the brain phase contains ALA, alpha-lipoic acid, which is going to help with breaking that blood-brain barrier. So that's going to be important, obviously, because we are working to detox the brain, and we want to make sure we can break through that blood-brain barrier. And so the ALA is here to support that process in the brain phase. We also have the methylation donor, which was in the prep and body phase as well. As you know, the methylation processes are extremely important for detoxification. And then we have minerals here to replenish the body of minerals, which are going to be important for maintaining the body's electrolyte balance. And the reason we added this to the brain phase is because bind, which is in the body phase, our wonderful toxin eliminator, it does pull out minerals as well. So that is one thing to be aware of. It's pulling toxins, but it also will pull minerals, and in some cases, it can cause people to get a little bit lower on minerals than we want them to be. And so in the brain phase, we go in and replenish those so that there's not a deficiency happening. So if you are running patients through the body phase and they start to experience leg cramps, or their stool is a little bit harder, you could add this to the body phase, or just make sure they're re-mineralizing their body so that they can continue to go about their life while doing the detox. So anyway, so that's why we've put minerals into the brain phase, to apply minerals into the body after you've done the body phase, and make sure you're not getting deficient on those. Then we've got the G cell, which is the intracellular glutathione we talked about a moment ago, that's going to help with reducing oxidative stress and detoxifying harmful compounds in the body. So it's going to push those toxins out of the inner cell, and then the bind is going to bind to those toxins and pull them from the body. So that is how those two work together, and the ALA helps to bring that into the brain so that we can pull these toxins from the brain and out of the body. So that is the brain phase. And again, it comes in a package, and it's pretty easy to follow. Anytime you guys have questions while your patients are going through any of these phases, reach out to your account manager for questions, reach out to Mike in clinical support for questions, and we are more than happy to answer any questions or concerns that may come up during the process. All right, so those are the first three phases of the roadmap. There is a fourth phase as well, called Cellular Vitality, and this also comes in a package. And the purpose of this phase is to provide nutrients to the cells to help them thrive after you have detoxed. So as we know, when you remove something, remove chemicals, remove pathogens, it's good to replenish those components with nutrients to make sure that they're strong and healthy, and that they're going to continue working properly. And so some people will move right into the cell vitality phase after brain phase, or we've had people go back and repeat the phases and then move to Cell Vitality. And the reason people do that is because they feel they need the additional detoxification support. And one way that you can kind of determine how toxic somebody may be and how much support they might need is through our meta-oxy testing. So we do have meta-oxy tests available, which is testing for lipid peroxidation, so damage to the cell and toxins and inflammation of the cellular level. It's a urine test, and you can run your patients through that before you begin the detoxification. And then after they've completed with the brain phase, you can run them through again to see if they may need to repeat the phases or if they're good to move on to cellular vitality. So if you have questions about the meta-oxy testing, let me know and I will send you some details on that so you're a little bit more familiar with how that works. And again, that's something we have available to you in either a 12-pack or a 25-pack, and you can do urine tests there in your office. So, all right. So I'm going to go a little bit over the cell vitality phase just to give you an idea of what's in here. And this is something you can really use anytime. You don't necessarily have to go through a detoxification protocol to use cell vitality. This is just going to feed the cells the nutrients it needs. So if you have somebody that's already fairly healthy and they just want to optimize their health, they're not looking to detox in any way, cell vitality is a great way to just get them the nutrients that their cells need. So keep that in mind. But in the cell vitality, we have Vista 2, which was also in the prep phase. And this is a membrane regeneration product that's going to promote healthy cell membrane structure and help maintain overall health. So wonderful product, great results from it. It helps with, reducing inflammation and other things of that nature as well. And then the Cell Vitality also has our methylation donor, which is actually in all of the phases. And methylation is just a very important process for health and wellness. If somebody's not methylating, they're not going to be able to handle stress very well. Their nervous system is going to be a little bit more frayed, and they're going to need that support. And so the methylation donor is there to support those processes. We also have the vitamin D3, so our DD3, which is going to replenish the body of vitamin D, which is going to support multiple processes in the body and just help with overall health, mood, optimize health, optimize insulin absorption. Lots of studies around vitamin D and how important it is for body processes. So that is in there to provide that nutriment to people and give them the support that they need there. So that is the vitamin D3. Then the G cell, the intracellular glutathione, is also in the Cell Vitality package. Once you've detoxed, and so once you've used the G cell to detox your cells, it also can be used as a support for the cells to help protect them from future damage. So it's, it's a very potent antioxidant that's going to boost the production of glutathione. So it's something that they can continue to take once they've completed with the detox as well. And then we've got our Spectra 1, which is an herbal whole food cellular multivitamin and mineral. So, that's going to be an overall wonderful product for anyone. It's whole food, it's cellular, It comes in capsule or liquid. In this package, it comes in a capsule, but it can be ordered separately. And it delivers the purest forms of whole food nutrients to the cell. So this is a great way to get the patient the cellular health that they need to continue on with their life after they've detoxed, or even if they're just wanting to optimize their health. So that is the Cell Vitality package. And looks like we have a question here about when the prep phase will be back in stock. So, looks like Amy's maybe giving you some answers there, but I know that it's supposed to be back in stock towards the end of August. We are working to get it in sooner than that. The boxes, we're waiting on the boxes, unfortunately. So again, if you do want to get started on this, let me know, and we will get you the products that are in the prep phase and provide you with the instructions on dosing and time of day so that you can get your patient started with these protocols. And again, you're going to find the same results as you would if you had the package. They'll just have to follow the instructions a little bit differently, and they won't be in the sachets. But we're hoping to have this back in as soon as possible. So thank you all for your patience with that. So prep phase, body phase, brain phase, cell vitality. As we know, this is a part of the Systemic Formula's 6-month roadmap that we discussed partially last week. And I'm just going to run back through it. So the parasite sweep is going to purge the body and the gut of parasites, which can hold many toxins and retoxify our body. And so if somebody has parasites and they go in and do a cellular detox, it's possible that they could get retoxified with heavy metals even after they've removed a lot from the body, because parasites are holding on to those heavy metals and then secreting them into the body even after you've done a heavy metal detox. So it's really important to get rid of those parasites first so that the parasites are not retoxifying the body with more chemicals after you've done a detox. So that's one of the reasons parasites are really important to address first. And then the GI purge is important to address as well, which is going to purge out fungus and bacteria from the body, which, if that is not taken care of, can make it more difficult to move toxins through the gut. So if your gut is backed up or you're having gut issues, it's going to be important to address that first and then move into cell detox so that the patient or the person detoxing is ready to move those toxins through. So you want to purge out any pathogens that could be in the way of detoxing. So parasite sweep, GI purge, and then once you purge out bacteria and fungus, you want to repair and recolonize the gut so that your patient is not getting sick again. So it's like, if you were to take antibiotics or something, you'd want to recolonize with good bacteria when you're done so you can build up that defense mechanism in the gut and make sure they're not going to get sick again. And so the GI wellness helps to support that process of recolonizing and repairing the gut. So those are the first 3 steps, and then the cell detox is the 4th step, which has 4 phases involved, and is a great place to go for patients who have chronic illness, disease, we just find so much success with autoimmune issues and things following this roadmap because it's really treating the root cause of what's going on with the patient, which in many cases is going to be pathogens and toxins. So that is our 6-month roadmap. And if you're interested in purchasing this roadmap, let me know and we will work with you on pricing. Since our prep phase is out of stock, we may be able to do something special for you. You will all get a $20 coupon code for being here today. So watch for that to come to your email. And we'll provide some of the tools that we discussed today in the email as well. And if you have questions, just let me know. Let's see if we've got some questions here. So Chelsea was asking about if the brain phase can be used without Cyto Detox and you get similar results. So that's a great question. So Cyto Detox, some of you may have heard of Cyto Detox. It is a formulation that Dr. Pompa sells. We actually don't sell it. Dr. Pompa does. And you can purchase it from him, and people will use it in the brain phase to help support the detoxification process, and just kind of so it's there to support the detoxification process. We've had lots of practitioners do it with and without the Cyto Detox, and we have found that both ways work really well. You can do it one way or the other. Dr. Morris feels it is fine the way that it is, and you can do the brain phase without Cyto Detox, and you're still going to get the amazing results of detoxification. Dr. Pompa wanted to add something to the brain phase to provide additional support, and that has worked really well for people as well. So it may be something that's case by case, depending on the patient and how toxic they are and how much support they might need. But we've had lots of really great results without the Cyto Detox. So don't feel that you need to have that per se, but just know that that is an option if the patient needs it for additional detoxification support. And if you have questions on specific cases, let us know, and I'm happy, or Mike's happy, to walk you through, what we'd recommend for that specific patient case. You can also add more bind to the brain phase for additional support. So you're always welcome to add additional bind to the protocol, which will help with supporting the toxins coming out of the body and not recirculating. So it's just really important that your patients are drinking lots of water and making sure they're eliminating every day while they're going through these phases. So super important. Also, I know I do get once in a while some questions on diet and maybe what's recommended as far as diet goes when doing the detoxification. So as you know, there's patients that are really excited and willing to change their diet, and there's patients that have a harder time with it. And so you can optimize the detoxification process by changing your diet and not eating toxic foods. So eliminating processed foods, eliminating sugar and carbohydrates, unhealthy processed carbohydrates. Those are going to be really helpful for optimizing the detoxification process because you're moving toxins out. You don't want to be putting more toxins in your body in the meantime if you can avoid it, which in a lot of cases it's hard to avoid because we live in such a toxic world. But a lot of practitioners will do a ketogenic type diet with their patients or more of a paleo, just kind of depending on the patient. And we do have products to help support people in doing those types of diets. So we did recently come out with a keto shake. So it's high fat, low carb, moderate protein, and they use a collagen protein so it doesn't raise the glycemic index. That's going to help increasing healthy fats into their diet. And then we also have our extracellular ketones, which helps to put the patient into ketosis if they're struggling to get into ketosis. So that's going to help with eliminating sugar cravings. It's going to help suppress the appetite a little bit so they can do a little bit more intermittent fasting. It's going to support with the keto flu. So we do have things that can support people in their diet portion of this detoxification, if that's something they're looking to do, is optimize it through diet as well. Then we do have tools that can assist them with that if they're struggling with sugar cravings or things like that. However, it is not necessary that someone changes their diet per se to do this protocol. It is recommended, it is helpful, but we've had people who just can't seem to change their diet and they're really struggling, and we still want those people to benefit from detoxification so that they can get to a place where they're a little bit more ready or they feel a little bit better about themselves so that they can move forward to changing their diet and changing their lifestyle. So we don't want that to deteriorate people from doing the detox. If they aren't able to completely change their diet, they are still going to have wonderful benefits from doing this. We've had people do it with diet changes and people without, and both have found amazing results. So just keep that in mind. But again, to optimize it, it is good to do something like a ketogenic or a paleo or some sort of diet variation. And if you need more details on that as well, let me know. But yeah, really wanted to go over this today, and I appreciate everyone being here and being involved and asking questions. It's wonderful to have everyone here on board with us. We want to make your practice easy, as easy as possible by using our products. And so if you have questions about the products, if they seem confusing or anything, please let us know, and we will work to simplify these processes for you. So thanks again, everyone, for being here. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. My extension is 120, or you can reach out to Amy, who has been awesome on this chat. And just give us a call, and we will be sending out your coupon codes and some additional information soon. So I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day, and we are excited to continue working with you and expanding into providing our patients with health and wellness. So, all right, well, have a great day, and we will talk to you guys later.